Welcome everybody to Turning Pages with Paul and Lesley. Hello!
Hey!
Hey everybody. We're so glad to be back here with you guys again, aren't we, babe?
So glad. I'm Lesley, by the way.
Oh yeah, and I'm Paul. Yeah. That should be pretty easy to figure out because Lesley is the pretty one.
Oh, thank you. You're not the ugly one.
No, but I mean I'm not pretty either.
I mean, kind of opposite. If
Well,
I'm the pretty one,
you're the pretty one.
then what are you?
I'll do in a pinch. Hey everybody.
Hey y'all. I'm sorry we even starting this way.
Y'all know we always start with something like this every time we're doing some little
It's
couple
usually
thing.
not this early though.
Some little couple thing is always happening on this channel.
Oh,
Everybody,
boy.
First of all, let's start by saying thank you everybody.
Thanks everybody.
For liking the channel. Thank you for sharing the content. Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah.
And if you haven't already, we're inviting you to do so. And thank you for hitting that notification bell. And if you haven't already, we're inviting you to do that as well.
Yeah.
We got some really cool content for you today. Babe, do you mind telling everybody about what it is we're going to talk about?
You know I don't mind. You all, it's pretty simple. We're going to give you an update on what we're reading.
Yeah.
We kind of felt that the things that we're reading is worthy of an update. So that's where we're going today.
Yeah. And I've got two books that I have been sort of bouncing back and forth between. And they're interesting. Both of them are quite interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, so, all right, as always, ladies first. Honey, why don't you get us started?
Yeah, so I've been on the financial literacy kick in the last couple of, probably about 2 weeks now.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to try to bone up on what's going on in the world and how finances, because you always want to be ready and you always want to be very well informed.
So you're saying you want to be financially literate. You want to understand finances, investing, saving, that kind of stuff.
I do. And I know, we've been, learning a lot over life and over the time of our lives about, how to handle our finances, how to save. But so many things have advanced. Some things I never thought of. And so it's almost like catching up on what's going on.
Okay.
And there's so many great things out there.
Right.
And yeah, I wanted to just kind of, like you said, bone up and, stay abreast of what was going on. And I don't know if you remember, so one of the books that I was reading, and I just lost my little place, but one of the books that I was reading, Paul, is The Baby Steps Millionaire by Dave Ramsey. I don't know if anybody, you probably don't know this, but many years ago, Paul and I, we took Financial Peace University. You remember that, Paul?
I do.
And we were able to pay off bills and, work toward debt freedom. And that was really cool. So yeah, he's got a book called The Baby Steps Millionaire. And that I learned a lot. That was really good. It still kind of follows some of those same steps we learned in Financial Peace University. And just really good to see that continues to be something that will work if you work it.
Right.
Right. But I stumbled upon a book by one of the financial gurus that I don't know if you remember her or not, but she was the first person that I started watching on QVC many years ago. And I don't know if you remember her, Paul, Susie Orman.
I do remember Susie Orman.
Do you know Susie Orman, I think, is over 70 years old now?
Wow.
Yeah, she ended up, you don't see her in the public eye as much. That's because she took herself off of all the public, broadcasting and all the other TV shows. And she just went to a small island and started fishing on a boat. The book tells me that.
Wow.
And so I'm like, wow, if you could do that, you are financially free.
Yeah, you're pretty good. You're pretty good. Yeah.
But she wrote this book, I think it was just released a couple of weeks ago, called The Ultimate Retirement Guide for 50 Plus.
Okay.
And when I say this is so good, it says winning strategies to make your money last a lifetime. Wow. Because a lot of people, they are, they're retired, they're getting a pension.
Right.
But they really didn't set up for more than that pension.
Right.
And she just talks about things that you have to, really consider for the future. Things like living wills and trust and, additional monies for long-term care if you get sick. Because, as we know, Medicare may not be here. Social Security may not, all those things may not be around.
Right.
And if they're not in the near future, what are you going to do to take care of yourself and your family?
Right.
She even talks about if you have children who are still depending on you after 50 and after retirement, how do you handle that?
Okay.
They're still calling you every week for money. What should, she really gives really sound advice because it's balanced because they are your children.
Right.
But she says, but there's some balance that has to occur here.
Yeah.
And she's, just really, really sound financial literacy advice. Just really good. So that and the Baby Steps Millionaire, those are the two that I'm reading.
Okay.
And enjoying.
I remember Susie Orman because you ordered some kind of briefcase from
QVC. We still got it.
And I was like, what in the world is this? And at that time, y'all, she was addicted to ordering from QVC and HSN every week. There was something coming from UPS being put on the porch every week.
Yeah, I had it bad back in the day. That was way back, y'all.
Bad.
Way
and
back.
I'm not going to tell you who the new place is. But
anyway, my gosh. I'm trying to cut down on them too.
Yeah. Her reading these books, I think, will help her to change that up a little bit. So the book that I'm reading, and unfortunately, my Kobo here says sleeping across the front, so you can't see the whole thing, but it's by Faith Martin, and it's called A Fatal Obsession. And you see right there where it says sleeping, right in the middle of it. But it's a fatal obsession, and so it's, for some reason, I keep being drawn to these books written by people from England and set in England. And this book is really interesting because it opens up with a murder. It opens up right in the front.
Don't you love books like that?
Yeah, it doesn't waste any time. And it was a little bit confusing, and it still is.
Okay.
Because it opens up with a murder and a detective in the room with the body. But then it goes away from that, and it goes on another storyline, and hadn't made it back to that initial murder at the beginning yet.
That's a good one.
But it is interesting because it highlights different people. There's a young lady who's a main character. She's a police officer, and unfortunately, she's not getting the kind of props that she feels she should, the opportunities, because she's a woman.
Okay.
Her family has problems with her being an officer, and the officers have problems with her being an officer. So you kind of see what's going on.
Yeah.
But she's really bright. And she's got a lot of potential.
Okay.
And so, to what I've read so far, there has been another murder where someone threatened to kill the son of a very wealthy man.
Wow.
And so time passes. They said they were going to kill him at a certain time, and time passes and nothing happens. And they're like, oh, okay, everything's okay. But someone does get killed. And I don't want to go any further because that might be giving away too much. But it is getting interesting now because now they're trying to find out who is this person who is not only threatened to kill somebody, but has followed through with it. Okay. So now there are two murderers. Well, it might not be two murderers. There are two murders and don't have an idea who did it. So real good start so far. Very interesting. Okay. Yeah. So I like it. I think I'm gonna like it.
Wow, that sounds good. Yeah. What's your other book?
Okay. Well, you only had one book.
I shared with you Baby Steps Millionaire. I just didn't bring it from out of the room.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was my bad.
All right. Well, let me. This is embarrassing because I got a little piece of paper in here. I don't have a bookmarker, and so I just took a piece of paper and folded it up.
You know that's the old school way.
Anybody else just take a piece of paper nearby and just fold it up and use it as a bookmark?
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
But this book right here, I have been threatening to read for a long time.
I think I know what you're talking about.
And I finally opened it up the other day. And it's called You Like It Darker. Yeah. Y'all.
Good old Stephen King.
Stephen King. So this is a trip. This book is a trip. Don Cornelius used to say a stone gas. So, all right. So it's basically a collection of short stories.
Okay.
All right. And I mean, as I open the book up here, I'm gonna pull a Lesley on y'all. It's got like Two Talented Bastards, The Fifth Step, Willie the Weirdo, Danny Collins' Bad Dream. It's got all these short stories. Now, here's what makes this book funny. The first short story was so not Stephen King.
Wow.
It just wasn't. I read it and I was like, okay, where's the horror? There's a catch. Like, what's going on here? And I read the first short story and I was just like, very underwhelmed. I was just like, okay, it was a cool story. Yeah, the ending was a little unexpected, but it's not Stephen King. It's not, like, it's just not. It's not that weird, horrific style that he writes in. Well, let me tell you. The second story.
Psych.
That's what it was. Almost like he set you up with the first story to think that he had changed his writing style for this book. Comes back with the second story and knocks your head off. Man, yeah, got you for real. And so I was like, everybody, honestly, when I got done with the second story, I had goosebumps.
Wow.
Up and down both my arms. Wow. Because of the way that he wrote it. It just seemed completely innocent. Okay? And then all of a sudden, boom, Stephen King. Like, I mean, like, it wasn't like he didn't set you up for it at all. You could kind of feel that something was coming, but not what came.
Right.
And then the second story the third story went to a place of just being plain old weird.
That's Stephen King.
It was just Willie the Weirdo. And that's
perfect title.
It was weird. It was a weird story through and through. And so now I'm on the fourth short story. Okay. And I am actually enjoying the idea of not reading the same thing through a book.
Yeah, I could imagine that every once in a while you need that change of pace in your reading. Yeah. And that's a perfect break.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's really cool.
Yes, I am enjoying.
Short stories are fun.
Yeah, it is. I've never read a book like that before. Yeah. I've never read a book like that where it switches from story to story to story to story. Yeah. But I'm finding that entertaining. Yeah. I'm finding that, like, sometimes when you read a book, and put it in the comments if you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes you read a book and you just feel kind of weighed down by it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, it's just going on and on and on, and you kind of wish it would get to the good parts. Yeah. I think with the short stories, he has to get to the good stuff quicker. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm enjoying that.
I got a feeling it's gonna. I'm wondering if that first story that was underwhelming is gonna find its way back in the wrap up.
That would be interesting.
That would be so cool.
That would be interesting if it did.
I'm just wondering.
Yeah, that story is about two men who grew up together all their lives, and then they both became famous at the same time. Yeah. And the whole thing was how does that happen? Yeah. And so the reason for which it happens is where it gets semi Stephen King like, but it doesn't go all in. But that second and third story,
all in Stephen King.
All in Stephen King. He's not playing. He is not playing. He coming for you. Oh, you like it darker? Okay. And it's almost like he's saying, okay, is this dark enough? Oh, you want to go darker? Okay.
So that's probably how he planned it.
Probably so. Why don't you tell us what pages you turn?
Yeah, we'd love to know what you're reading right now and share with us what you think. And we always love the recommendations. Thank you all so much. We appreciate all of your comments and feedback, and just keep them coming.
Yeah, keep them coming, everybody. And please continue to like, share, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that this channel can continue to grow. I think we're at about like 551, 52 subscribers. So we're trying to get to 600. Our goal is to go to 1,000 and beyond. We want this community to grow as big as it can. And we know that can't happen without your help. So we thank you in advance.
Thank you
for helping this channel to get where it is, and also helping us to grow further.
Yes.
Well, I think that's everything for today. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with us. Are there any parting words you'd like to share, babe?
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Until next time, we're going to ask you to do us one last favor. You know what it is already. Keep turning.
Those pages.
All right. See you next week.
See you next time.
Peace.
Bye.